I'm only doing this because I get to sleep in tomorrow, because UTPL was nice enough to start their first match at I think 10 a.m. Central Time. Kind of insane. I'm so used to having to wake up at like 7 in the morning for UTPL matches on Sundays, so. Oh wow, they're ready to go. All right, everybody ready? Everything sound good? Everything look good? Because these players are readied up. And here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 jumping in here. Some casual Saturday afternoon video games. Wasty and Septos both get things off quickly. And Timko already getting things off quickly with a tier 1 sub. Didn't even wait 2 minutes into the game to get the first sub gifted out. Oh, nice headshot there by Prism up top. Double kill on Kusky. Let's get him into a first person view for you. Prism right now on a tear. Four sniper shots in a row. Okay, 3. Okay, he's 5 of 5. There we go. 3 kills on 5 shots. Blazing start here for Prism. We saw him trying to take that top area, and the way he's been shooting, that might actually be a good strategy for them, because dedicating a resource to holding that top area and sniping is really only worthwhile if you can shoot at least 30 to 40%. Actually, maybe probably more like 35 to 40%. There you see first shield belt coming up. Alfred just chilling on top of it. Nobody challenging it, so Mesa, a couple seconds left. They do knock him into the goo, but he's gonna get out and survive. So Alfred, a little bit fortunate there, does get his shield belt kind of melted off him just a little bit after it comes through. Just a light dusting there. Not so much melted off, maybe like caramelized little creme brulee action. So OCR off to a quick start here, but they are relatively low on HP. We do have this first amp popping soon. Let's head over to it. Last, just waiting on it. We'll see what he's seeing. I only see rockets in his inventory right now. He's going to be looking for a shock rifle. Smart move, dropping him a fully loaded sniper. So this could be their opportunity to try to take their first lead in this one. There it is. Oh, never mind. They get tied up on the other side. So here we go. 12 to 11, and MG now on top. 13 to 11. Last, bringing the pain with that sniper rifle. Such a wide open map here. Oh, and there's the killing spree with a huge run, and that's what you can see on a map as Alfred gets the double kill, including his teammate. With these wide open maps, like deck in particular, when you get that amp sniper rifle in mid, you can really make things happen, because it mostly becomes one-shot kills. Most people, especially off the spawn, you know, aren't going to have enough armor to withstand that double damage sniper shot. Septo's taking some shock rifle pain from Alfred, so OCR coming right back at him early on in this one, but already a 6 frag lead for MG after OCR started off quick. All right, so we got pretty much simultaneous power-up spawns here. Babbage with a headshot. We're seeing a ton of headshots coming out. The classic Enforcer duel over the flak pit there. So here we go. Basically simultaneous power-ups. Amp's actually going to be a few seconds before belt. You do have the jump boots up, so if someone can grab this amp and head down to belt, they could be pretty stacked and dangerous. But it looks like nobody really challenging belt. So Mesa here giving up a couple early shield belts without really contesting them. Kind of interesting, because this map, the belt is so exposed in the middle of the map. It's actually very, very easy to just throw some fire down to get some kind of damage on anyone trying to grab it. But as it is, it's working out for them. They've controlled the amps. You see Inceptos now with his turn running around the map, just hit scanning. Ooh, he is very vulnerable, and that's the downside when you don't have that high ground and you get into mid like that. Especially with amp, you are a huge target. So Inceptos kind of stuck down here in the pit, waiting for that health to pop up. Grabs it a little bit, but still really, really squishy, so he's going to be on the run. We saw Prism pop off another headshot in the top left up there. So many headshots already today. Flick switch with rating with this party. I appreciate that. I mean, if you're in here, if you want to stream alongside me, by all means, dude. This is just casual Saturday fun. There's no exclusivity or anything like that on Saturdays. Challenger Division is amateur hour. This is basically going to be like an open mic night for me. I'm just going to mess around with you guys, have some fun. Amp will be spawning in 7 seconds. Let's head over to it. Actually, this respawn's gonna do it for us. And there you go. Got X-ray vision on for you. You see Kusky waiting back there, blasts him. Oh, causing in the drink, and the Amp goes right down there with it. Amps look kind of cool when they're red, don't they? Oh, and he swims down and grabs it last, going for it. Causing catches him doing it, melts him down with the link gun, and it goes for the Amp sniper rifle. So last basically did the hard work for Causing, went down, grabbed the Amp, handed it right back to him. A risky, aggressive move there, and definitely does not pay off. MG does manage to get that Amp back in their hands, and really doesn't do a whole lot with him on their side either. So an oddly exciting Amp run for one that really didn't bring a whole lot of kills for either side. Is 15 minutes? I forget. I know they were talking about some tweaking some of the rule changes for time length. I'm not actually sure, especially if Challenge Division has different rules or what the deal is. But yep, they appear to be playing right now 15 minutes. So. I think there might have been some. There was some discussion about length of games and switching things up. I'm not sure what the current rule set is. Ooh, last picking up that double damage across the map. Again, though, that shield belt is a little bit out of cycle, so it's actually going to be spawning right now. And Kusky with his first shield belt of the game. It's actually... Okay, it looks like Inceptos has had 3. That's the first one that I've seen MG grab that wasn't last. That Amp got past. Excuse me, that wasn't Inceptos, not last. Last has been grabbing the Amps. Ooh, more kills coming out. Kusky going down. See, we have the Spuma Squad in full effect, already making noise in chat. We'll watch Kusky. Well, we watched Kusky right there. We'll watch him get spawn killed a couple times. We do have shield belt spawning in a couple seconds. Let's head over to the shield belt. You see that fighting down in the pit. Belt's gonna be up right now. And what I'm seeing from neither of these teams is dedicating a whole lot of resources to controlling these jump boots. Kind of interesting. Oftentimes you'll have 1 to 1.5 people dedicated to that pit area over there, where the shock rifle and the 100 and those lifts are. Last grabs it, almost goes for a swim, but ends up definitely maneuvering himself in the air. OCR sticking around in this one. Don't look now, it's a 15-point game. It looked like the momentum was all MG's favor, and indeed they do have an Amp sniper rifle. Oh, and he gets stomped. Alpha with the pancake, killing the Amp sniper and grabbing it for himself. That was a huge play in a game now that's almost back down to single digits. A couple of opportunities here with some spawners in front of Amped Rockets. Down to an 11 frag game, down to a 10 frag game. Can he make it 9? Just needs one big shot. Has to be careful not to kill himself. There it is. And it's a 7 frag game. OCR storming back after that Mario Goomba stomp to steal the Amp right back from MG. So now we do have that shield belt up. You see both teams, oh, still having trouble. Kusky sneaking right in underneath and stealing that power-up. So we've seen a couple back and forth moves with these power-ups. Getting intense there, but this time Kusky comes away with it right in front of the jump boots. I think those jump boots are gonna come up huge as this game goes on. We're a little past the halfway point, but the fact that you can get to belt and amp so quickly with it gives you such an advantage. Kusky now doing a little bit of damage with that shield belt, but let's back up just a bit. Looks like they're trying to control that top area, so you got Mesa up top and in mid, in position for this amp, but nobody really in a spot to grab it. Kusky might have to jump down on it, but he's only got 100 health, no real heavy weapon arsenal at his disposal. Incepto's with a double kill with the rockets clears a path for him, but he definitely needs a little bit more health if he wants to expose himself in mid and try to make the most of that amp. We are back into an 8 frag game, so MG has kind of stabilized things a little bit. OCR came storming back after an early separation by MG. Look at that long range flag. That's the unfortunate thing. There's no shock rifles up. You might even pull out Enforcer in a situation like that, so you can at least get one accurate shot across the map. Oh, there's the homing rockets though. No damage coming out from that. Trying to get the lock on. Go projectile cam. Boom! There you go. Kusky sending Babbitts back to spawn with that one. Got more rockets coming in back and forth. And still a 6 frag game, so OCR inching their way back into this one. Not looking like either team can manage to wrest control away in any significant way. More lock on rockets whizzing around the corner like that. But OCR right now has had control of these power-ups. Kusky getting down on that belt. Looks like Mesa's maybe getting timing on it a little bit better. We'll stick with actually we're gonna hang out on the amp. Kusky has that belt, but if he can make a run over here to amp, it could be extremely fortuitous if MG wants to try to extend this lead. They're back up to double digits. In the last 2 to 3 minutes, these two teams have basically just been back and forth, dead even. Here we go, amp still up, getting delayed heavily there. Both teams, of course, gonna see and hear it taken on a map this small. Oh, Incepto's trying to get the insta-gib kills with a sniper rifle. Can't make it happen, goes down. Kusky putting pressure. There is the flak. That'll get him another amp run, but looks like it's only... No, he does have a sniper rifle with no ammo, and he's stuck again. Does make it work this time. So last time he was stuck out in mid a little bit with that amp. No real hit scan weapons. Flak gonna do you a lot more good down there in the pit. Prism picks it up. Only a couple seconds left. Nothing too major happening there. We do have the shield belt up. We'll go keep an eye on it. It's down here in mid, right over that pit. Cousin this time grabbing it. So now teams just trading belts back and forth. You see Incepto's a little bit late to grabbing those boots. If he could have shown up a little bit earlier, could have stolen that belt. Oh, nice. Oh, nice back and forth. You saw the combo with the fall away, fade away combo, and then eating rockets. Just an absolute mess in mid. These teams are going at it. More flak in the pit. And again, we've talked about it last time we casted, but when you're in the pit down there, it takes so much coordination and so much patience because it's very, very easy to kill yourself. You have to be extremely patient and careful with where you place your shots. So players that are really good at moving around in that pit and timing those shots and charging the rockets and hitting the flak and all that, you really got to give them credit. It's not going to show up on any fancy frag videos, but it's so nice as someone who's played the pit before in Team Deathmatch to watch someone really masterful at it. Double kill there coming off of that amp. He's still got 17 seconds to go. There's another one in Septos. He went on a big amp run earlier in this one. This would be a great time for him to do it again. They're down to a 2 frag lead with 2 minutes to go. They would love to crack this one wide open right now. There's another one. Following up with this sniper rifle, just insta-gibbing everyone. Close range, flag gonna take him out, but not before putting out more damage. So a huge amp run there by Inceptos, but OCR coming right back at him. Take a quick look at the scoreboard to get an idea of what we're seeing. Power-up wise, MG Mesa absolutely dominant, but OCR running together and somehow pulling this one out and tying it right back up. All right, let's pull away a little bit. We have the shield belt spawning at the bottom of the map. You can see the strategy from MG. They still want to have someone up top. They're really concerned with controlling mid first and foremost. They've been rotating some people through the pit, but not spending a lot of time there. Nice steal there by Wasty. He had the boots, but just wall dodged right in front of it. Put the lock on rockets, pinning him to the wall, and there's the follow-up cause and answering right back. And with 2 more kills, OCR is going to tie it up again. And these teams are just trading blows. We're down to 5 seconds left before this amp. Let's head over there. This could be the game right here. Whoever grabs this amp, if they can go on a run, get 2 or 3 quick kills, that would be the difference maker for either side here. And Wasty with a quick grab. Not many weapons. In fact, only the starter pistol, but he has plenty of health. If he can just keep this out of their hands, you see him throwing a sniper rifle to him with a 4 frag lead and 40 seconds to go. You almost just need to keep this away from OCR at this point. You see him pulling out the close range flat cannon. Kazan takes him out. 1 frag deficit. They've got plenty of time left here. They just have to find someone off the spawn. Got to get that kill. Only 34 HP, but they've got him tied up. Oh, he goes down from up top last with the save with the distance shock rifle. And now there it is, up to 3 with 15 seconds to go. They've got an opportunity. Prism's got a sniper rifle, just misses the head. Alfred gets a double kill with the flak, ties it right back up. There's another flak ball with 5 seconds to go. They take a 2 frag lead, 1 frag lead with 1 second to go. Can MG tie it up? OCR holds on with the comeback. That game was so back and forth. MG started off a little bit behind. I think OCR was up like 8-2 or something. Then MG came storming back, finally got control of the power-ups. OCR fought their way back into it in the last 2 minutes, made up, was it a 10 frag deficit? Coming up, tying it up, and almost ending up in overtime, but taking the lead with that massive flak double kill coming in at the very, very last second. And you look at the scoreboard here, I mean, up and down, dead even, only about a 650 difference in damage. Mesa actually dominated the power-ups, so pretty surprising to see someone dominate the power-ups that much and not able to hold on. So that's going to be one you might want to look back to. I think maybe they had a lot of emphasis on mid, but it kind of left them vulnerable. I mean, when you have too many people in mid, you can get hit from so many directions. Credit OCR for knowing how to rotate back around the map, stick together, and make that work. So I think they're going to the New York City hub, they said, so we're gonna jump in there ahead of time and wait for this next map to pop up.
Time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. I'm all out of gum.
You know, Shocks, I actually really like the UT99 soundtrack, but mostly I've been using it exclusively because it hasn't gotten me any copyright flags on on YouTube. So for some reason, the UT soundtrack, nobody has flagged it copyright. So that's what I'm sticking with. The UT3 soundtrack, I've actually gotten copyright strikes and flagged for some reason, and so I had to like make that argument. I don't think I've gotten flagged for the Unreal Gold soundtrack. I actually really like that one too, but it's a little more kind of sweeping and orchestral, kind of epic, but not necessarily like that upbeat, like thumping techno-y, you know, very 90s action FPS music. DC, can you start remaking every map, like just recooking it with the Spuma logo? Oh, here we go, players are ready. Map 2 coming up. Here is your countdown, 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Connex 5 here on a nice leisurely Saturday afternoon, exploding some faces. We just saw a crazy comeback by OCR on deck. I think I may have broken my mic at one point there. I actually kind of turned around in excitement looking at chat and headbutted it. So we'll go back in the VOD and see if anything weird happened, but this is what happens on Saturdays, y'all. But here we are, Temple, map 2. OCR trying to take their second point of the matchup on this map. Mesa trying to get back into it, securing at least a split here. Remember, this is 5 total points up for grabs. Ooh, Alpha early on, the fallback sniper, or excuse me, fallback shock rifle. Again, you can see the ping differentials. We are playing on the NA hub for this map. Kusky grabbed the first belt. We'll hang on to his perspective to see if he can get a weapon. It seems like one of his teammates might want to drop a weapon to the guy with the power-up, but he does manage to snag a shock rifle. Amp's going to be up in 10 seconds. He's in position to make his way over there, but might be looking for the kill. There he is. And this Amp is up right now. Kusky on top of it. And pretty clean grabs. So, ooh, misses that jump, but this could be a good opportunity early on in this one. It's pretty rare to get clean grabs of the Amp on this map. And having that belt on top of it's going to be a big opportunity to do some damage. Even with that Enforcer, I mean, you can see you're doing 44 damage. Oh, nice job stealing that shock rifle from right in front of him. Like I said, Amped Enforcer, really not a bad weapon, especially in the short distances that you're going to fight on in this map. It's pretty close range. Combos around the corner. Nice job from teammates calling out enemies. Still though, OCR out to an early lead in this one. This is basically what we saw on deck, as we saw, well, not Kusky on a killing spree necessarily. It was actually Inceptos that had a big early amp run in that game, going on a bit of a tear. OCR though opened up early with the lead. MG came back, got up to I think a 17 frag lead towards the middle of that game. And then OCR just started inching their way back in, not even necessarily on the backs of power-up control, because Mesa finally got into a rhythm and started controlling the amps and the shield belts. I think OCR just fell back, played a little bit more, maybe carefully, and ended up coming back the last couple minutes, erased the deficit, finally got a good amp run, and took the lead with about 2 seconds to go. See, sometimes I do anticipate, chat. I know you guys are in like a 10-second delay, but yeah, definitely started describing the outcome of the first map. Just kind of, you know, figuring some of y'all might want to recap. So we have Amp getting picked up here by Kazand. He's going to be on the run here, looking for targets, trying to eat into that lead for Mesa. Mesa, though, Kusky and Wasty both running around with some armor. We'll take a quick look. Yeah, it looks like Kusky been dominating the belt so far early on. Babbitts has had one. Pretty split on the 100 armor, so this is an interesting map. You're not going to necessarily dedicate someone to holding that 100 vest area. Whereas in some maps you would. In some maps, you know, you can send one, maybe 1.5 people really dedicated to that. You'll see that on deck a lot of times, and we talked about in the pit. This map is so out of the way, and there's the goo on Kuzki as he gets the sniper rifle shot. Belt gets grabbed. This time it looks like Alpha has it. Let's see what he can do. We still have 20 seconds till this amp spawns. But like I was saying, you're not necessarily going to dedicate a player to holding that 100 armor vest on this map, so it's something you have to rotate into. You have to be used to the map and have that timing down kind of. Oh, nice headshot there by Alpha in order to head over and get there in time. There's the 180 no-scope rocket, followed by the 0 degree no-scope combo. Trading back and forth. Meanwhile, Last grabs the amp, goes down to Kazan. That's going to be an amp lying on the ground, and Septos manages to sneak over to it. Oh, double kill with the sniper rifle. And Septos continues to be feeling extremely comfortable with that sniper rifle today. He is feeling himself. We saw 1 or 2 amp runs by him on deck that were huge. In the end, coming up short. But if he can do that again a couple more times on this map, it really would put them in great position. At this point, they're up 15. Some teams might feel a little bit comfortable with that, but we've seen how quickly that can disappear against OCR. We saw them come back from more than that last map. I think they were down 17 at most. Their biggest deficit on deck, and of course we know how that turned out. Wasty right now, the only person running around. You know, let's get a look at this 100 armor vest. We haven't really watched anyone waiting for it. Alpha hanging out there early. You see him have some teammate support. MG nowhere to be found. I wonder if they have the timing of it or not. Alpha looks like he's stuck zoomed in on us, so we're gonna head back over to Wasty because he's the only one with any armor. That said, we do have amp and belt spawning soon. See him waiting on that 100 armor. We do have the belt and some fighting going on over it. Kuzki jumps there a little bit early. He gets taken out. Prism, though, falls down to the ground. This belt is wide open. And nobody else in position to challenge it, so OCR dominating those power-ups. Prism gets the shield belt. Alfred grabbed that amp, but he goes down. Amp goes to last, and he's going to be on a run now, looking for some spawners to try to take out. There's that close-range flak. This is a map in particular you might see more flak than usual, just because of how close quarters it is. You can turn that corner. You can really make people disappear. Shock rifle, of course, good from pretty much any direction, or any distance, rather. So Amp's going to go to Babbitts. He's got just a few seconds left. Looks like that's going to expire. So we've got a little bit of time. We'll take a quick look at the scoreboard as we're almost halfway through this one. And Mesa building an even bigger lead this time, up to 23 frags. So they're really breaking it open. I mean, I think after last map, I don't expect them to see, or expect to see them relaxing at all this game. They know they can't rest on their laurels with how OCR was able to come back in the last few minutes last time. Oh, we saw a goo kill there, this time by Inceptos. There was a huge goo kill on deck. So, you know, to take back a power-up. We even saw a stomp kill. Wasty on a rampage. Prism on a killing spree on the other side. We'll go on board with Wasty to see what he's up to. Again, that flak cannon. This is one of the few maps where flak can be your default weapon. It can be what you run around with at all times. And you can see them, though, taking back control of that vest. We saw before they weren't anywhere near it when it spawned, but oh, a nice flak ball. Drops it. Drops his balls and his top. Last grabbing that U damage, and all of a sudden, power-ups going right back into MG's possession, and they are running with it. Last lining up these shots. He saw the patience there, making his movement super quiet, just waiting for him to jump into his crosshairs and securing that kill. Up to a 28 frag lead now, so MG again not letting up after the comeback OCR managed to put together on deck. What's up, Zax, with the Twitch Prime subscription. As always, I will go ahead and remind folks, if you do have an Amazon Prime account, you can hook it up to your Twitch account and automatically get Twitch Prime. Among other things, it will let you Give 1 free subscription a month to whoever you want. It can be me, it can be someone else, whatever. It's just free Amazon fun bucks. Amazon has enough money, you might as well give it out for free. And it counts just the same as the regular subscription. Gives the same amount of money to the streamer, so... You know, if you have an Amazon Prime account, be sure to connect those dots and give out that free money. Oh, you see the rockets around the corner last with the homing rockets. We saw those come up huge on deck when Kusky was throwing them out there last this time. Showing his ability to do the same. Oh, big combo down there. You saw him missing the primary. Sometimes you just need AoE. I don't know if we've seen a godlike yet in a match this season, at least on stream. But that is also the sub sound effect, so... Sometimes when you see people giving out, you might see someone gift, like, I don't know, Marcos or Dimko or any of these guys that you see with the MVP tags. You know, gifting out a ton of subs, you're gonna hear that godlike quite a bit sometimes. Rockets up the lift, such a dangerous room to jump around in with that flak right in your face, and Last makes it work. Last right now on fire with that shock rifle. He's also went on a tear with that sniper rifle earlier with that amp run. Kusky gets blasted off that belt. Has a little bit of armor left, but nice job of negating that by OCR. But you can see now, almost, there it is, a 40 frag lead. So interesting, OCR taking deck, which was Mesa Gaming's map pick. And then Mesa coming right back and running away with it on OCR's map pick.
Godlike.
And Dimko right on cue. So there you go. That is an example of what it sounds like when somebody subs or somebody gives a sub. Appreciate that, of course, as always, Dimko. Oh, and Wasty dominating. You know, I don't want to jinx it. I'm going to stick with the amp runner right now. And Septos now with that amp. Oh, the amp link gun. I actually am surprised we don't see that more on this map. So with the link gun, the big limitation is the range, right? Like, but this map, you're pretty much always in range. It is basically what I'm saying. It's almost impossible to escape the link gun in this map. It's just so hard when someone gets it locked onto you. Let's go on board with Wasty. We are 100%. Look at him, 16-9, very efficient game. Last with a 33 and 18, the big numbers, but of course efficiency matters in TDM as well. And I guarantee you that we're gonna see Wasty die now that we've jinxed him by casting him. But that's what you get for going on a spree, buddy. That's actually showing some really nice, for someone who's relatively new to TDM and therefore probably relatively new to this map, Wasty is showing some really great movement there, familiarity with the map, maneuvering around, cutting off enemy player, using that stinger very effectively. That was actually a pretty nice sequence right there from Wasty, especially someone who's been, I think, largely known as an elimination player, kind of getting into the swing of things, because this isn't a map that you're going to play outside of Team Deathmatch. In fact, not even really outside of 4v4, so... good to see a lot of these players that are maybe newer to the game type jumping in this season and picking it up. Yeah, people wondering, this is on the North American hub. We just saw map 1 deck on the European hub on London. OCR able to take that one, coming back in the last couple minutes to win by 1 frag. Mesa Gaming, you can see what they're doing here. Kusky on the killing spree with a nice sniper shot. And now they're just running around and just farming spawners at this point, which is what you do in TDM. Kusky trying to shake the cobwebs loose. This can be a tricky map to snipe on. We saw Last making great use of kind of giving himself some distance. Oh, was that the unstoppable? Did we miss? Does it not show? Was Wasty unstoppable there before they conceded? I thought I saw that up top. I thought Wasty had just gone unstoppable and they conceded the game. So still, you guys mentioned we saw some godlikes in 2v2, but I still don't think we've seen a godlike in 4v4 yet in UTPL. And that streak will continue if it's true. I don't know yet. You guys know better than I do. I actually have a terrible memory. I'm pretty much like a goldfish and a cocker spaniel combined. So there you go, 4v4 over, ultimately splitting maps. OCR with a great comeback in map 1, but of course, running away with it in map 2 is Mesa Gaming, answering right back. I mean, while we got a second, I guess we might as well take a peek again at these standings just to remind you how these two kind of sit, relatively speaking. 9 points, and of course, each one of those 4v4 maps going to be 1 point. So Mesa and Ocrana both gaining a point there. Of course, these still a lot of matches to play before these rankings really shake out in any final kind of way, but a couple of matches played by most teams. So this, of course, is Ocrana's second. Mesa Gaming, this will be their third. So in a little bit, not exactly an apples to apples comparison, but Mesa Gaming, like I said, only dropped 2 maps before this match. Excuse me, only 1 map before this match, and that'll be their second one that they've dropped points wise. So keep that in mind when you see some of the relative rankings between these two teams. You can tell by the point totals, though, a lot of teams, like a lot of 2 to 3 matchups happening between these two teams in this challenger division. So some really close back and forth stuff. We don't have an official decision yet, I think, on how relegation might look at the end of the season between challenger and epic. I think that's something they're going to have to wait out and just kind of figure out once they see how things shake out. But that would be very interesting to see. Keep an eye on which teams particularly finish top 2, potentially top 3 in challenger division. Again, just it'll be on the admin set aside, but I figure with 6 teams in epic this season, depending on who returns and what ends up happening with rosters and all that, look to see at least 1, maybe 2 of these challenger teams, potentially 3, depending on how things work out, making their way up to epic division next season. So again, I'm not an admin, no inside information there, but just something to keep an eye on as you see these teams and how they end up like with relative rankings to each other. So now we're looking for 2v2 TDM coming up. Gotcha. So still some final decisions to be made, and I'm sure a lot of that will depend on things like what rosters are still active, what rosters are full at the end of the season. You know, if any teams need to take a break, if any teams need to consolidate or split or anything like that. Always a lot of variables anytime you're talking with people doing things on the internet. But of course, we do have the Epic Division tomorrow morning. I think we start, if I'm not mistaken, you know what? We've got the website up. Let's just go looky-loo. Take a quick little gander. A little peek-see. All right, looks like tomorrow at... Is this 9 a.m. Eastern? So we're going to have this. That's 1300. I think that's 9 a.m. Eastern time. Someone else can definitely feel free to do the time zone conversion for me. But yeah, 1300 BRD versus SAS. That'll be a big one. SAS, of course, just barely missed out on winning the first season in the Epic Division. Looking really, really good in Season 2. BRD, though, has been improving week after week and a chance to make a lot of noise. Tomorrow they play SAS and Absolute, 2 of the other top 3, maybe favorites, you might say. So still a lot to shake out. And then, of course, we have Absolute versus Gangsters, kind of teams coming from the middle of the pack. They're trying to make sure that they finish top 3, at the very least top 4, to secure their spot in next year's Epic Division. All right, let's see what we can find. Looks like London has some players on it. All right, looks like Lass's game is up, and I see Lass and It's Wasty jumping in there. Antiguous. By the way, I have no idea who made this map. If the map maker is in the building, by all means, let me know how to pronounce this. I'm thinking Antiguous.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
See, Kazan saying he's yet to play this map. If anyone knows any backstory on the map too, definitely let me know. Oh, I can see the, what are they called? The holes in the ground that you would pour the hot oil through. I see some of those in the map. Very curse. Definitely getting a curse vibe from that section of the map. Do we have the ability? Gotcha. Okay, I think I have actually, yeah, I've seen Heresiarch recently. Is that a lightning rifle up top there? Is that going to be actually active in TDM here? Yeah, you can see the practicing of some of these jumps. You know, it's interesting though that they're doing. Is it a lift dodge to wall dodge that they're trying to do? Is it a lift jump to wall dodge? Yeah, as the toilet paper supplies dwindle, I personally am looking to buy stock in bidets as soon as possible. Unfortunately, all of the major companies, none of which are my bidet sponsor, are not publicly traded. I actually looked that up today. You got companies like Kohler that make them. They're not publicly traded. They're all private. You got Tushy is a big one. I think they're a lot of the ones you'll find on Amazon. Also a private firm, not publicly traded. Yeah, I was about to say this kind of looks like. This kind of looks like, yeah, like almost like a bunny track map, like a Temple of Trial situation where there's all these little tricks. This feels like back in school having math, so yeah, I mean a map that has a bunch of tricky jumps in it can definitely put a lot of extra pressure on you, and that's something to keep in mind. You know, you think you're you think you're in this game to have fun. You think it's a game, but it's really a test of your emotional stamina. Yeah, I mean, with a vertically oriented map like this, if you miss your jumps and you end up at the bottom, that's going to be a common place. As anyone who's played public free-for-all games knows, if there is a bottom of a map to fall into, that's where everyone's going to end up. Inevitably, someone will be running around up top, you know, doing cool stuff, and they're going to get bored all by themselves, and eventually they're going to look down and be like, all right, I guess I should just go down there and play the video game with people. That said, that's one thing that didn't happen on Curse so much back in the day, because you had things like in multiple lifts, stairwells, things to get you back up top of the map. Seraphim is another map. I wouldn't say this map reminds me of Seraphim, but it was certainly one that had three or four vertical layers at different parts of the map, and really just relied on having a ton of lifts mostly to get you back up top. I don't even think there were jump boots on Seraphim now that I think about it. All right, players are readied up, and we will be getting started here any moment. Here is your countdown, 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Connex 5 bringing you some 2v2 action from the Challenger Division. Big combo to the back, Wasty early on. Continuing his streak, we saw him go unstoppable right as the last map ended. We'll see if he can get the unofficial godlike here. He starts this map, oh, on a killing spree. He does not. Prism with the double kill of his own, ending Wasty's spree. Ooh, nice double rockets there by Prism. Prism right now starting off white hot this map. Rockets to the back of Lass, bouncing him around again. The rocket juggles there. Notice him also not doing too much damage to himself. That can happen so easily with those rockets. And a killing spree for Prism. Trying to get the final blow. There he goes. Goes down to the enforcer shots. We did have a belt taken, it looks like. So at the very least, they do know where the power-ups are. We'll put that theory to the test. We do have the vest up right now. Looks like Lass is going to head over to it. And Amp will be spawning in 10 seconds. So you can see they're kind of maneuvering around for it. You have that shock rifle right below. It looks like it. So these guys up top just trying to maneuver for position. Lass is going to have a wide open grab though, as Prism and Kazan for OCR find themselves a little bit out of position. What's up, Alpha? We saw Alpha, of course, playing in the 4v4, streaming on his own and bringing some folks into the party. So Amp expires, not really a huge run there going on, but look at Mesa Gaming's, what the? I'm not actually sure what happens there. Do you just sort of phase through the grates there? It looked like some David Blaine stuff there, but Lass, in any case, able to get that armor. And I was gonna say, look at the armor stack for MG, both of them over 100 armor. So only a 2 frag lead, but it looks like they are firmly in control right now. And with about 15 seconds till the vest spawns, they've got plenty of time here to try to rack up some kills. Gotcha. So it's basically a T1000 move to grab the 50 armor. Okay, just wanted to make sure I was aware of what was happening there. Belt spawns right now. Amp also spawning. Looks like Wasty got the belt. So still all the armor firmly in Mesa Gaming's control. Amp's gonna be up, still being delayed a little bit, and like we predicted, a lot of folks kind of falling down to the map, having trouble staying up top to control. Last though gets the kill up top. If he knows Amp's up, actually Wasty's gonna get over there first. And now Wasty's still with 150 armor. And a big chance here to extend this lead. There's one shot coming out. This is not a super small map though, so it's not the easiest map to track down respawning players. It's not going to be like a deck where you run around mid and get multi-kills with that sniper rifle, but you see them trying to track them down, listening to where they're running, trying to cut them off. Oh, jump boots right in front of him, and the rising headshot. And the follow-up kills, MG just erasing them there. So here we go, just, oh, nice. And there is Wasty's killing spree. Has he only had, he has had 3 deaths. Okay, so Wasty going unstoppable at the very end. Oh, Goo to the face. We've seen Goos back and forth so far this matchup. And there's the follow-up sniper by Prism. So still only an 8 frag game, about a third of the way into this one. Still can go either way, but of course MG right now has been firmly in control for a while, but finally those armor stacks flipping back over. So Ocrana, you see grabbing those armors. Prism now with 150 armor. That's the most I think we've seen anyone from Ocrana have all game. Have they even grabbed a shield belt? No, they've grabbed, okay, they've grabbed 2. So even belts, 100 armor is going to be all MG so far. A little bit of a damage advantage for MG. And of course the Amp, completely in their control. Ooh, close range flak versus rockets, just barely dodges that one up the lift. That was a dangerous situation. So we do see Last grabbing that belt. So Mesa Gaming back in control of the armor. Couple of seconds of that amp left, nothing really happening. Ooh, rockets coming in, flak to follow it up. This is another one of those medium range maps. A lot of maneuverability going on. Flak and rockets with the prediction really come up huge. I think the chase downs from Link could be huge as well. Nice patient combo there by Last. You saw him not trying to pluck him out of the air, predicting where he's going to land, and just dropping that massive damage right behind him. And there's those back-to-back flak primaries, turning him pretty much into goo. And we're approaching the halfway point of this one, but right now Mesa up big, but look at that, look at the health, 4 and 28. If OCR can get any amount of damage, they can try to get on a little bit of a roll of their own. Last picking up that shield bub's gonna give them a little bit more room for error, and those health bubbles are really gonna help him out. Oh, and the amp's gonna go to him as well. So the third amp completely uncontested. Oh, that time dodges the goo. We've seen big goo shots going back and forth, especially in the 4v4 maps from both sides. But right now, Last on the hunt. You see him up top. You see his teammate calling out. Oh, he thought he had boots there, I think. Oh, it's a little bit out of position. I think he thought he had jump boots. Looked like he tried to jump up through that hole in the ground. Didn't make it, so decides to go around the long way, but amp's gonna expire, so bit of a missed opportunity there, but still up by 10. And with the 7:30 mark, we'll be halfway through this one, and Last on a killing spree on his own now. I see Last very wary of the goo. Again, I wasn't joking. There was a lot of goo shots going back and forth in the 4v4 maps, and even so far in this one. Last trying to see if he can break the map. I mean, it's a valid effort there. Oh, you saw him trying to track the jump boots. They have that trail behind him. Nice falling combo right there. Maybe gonna try to get the follow-up kill with the shock. Wasty slides in and gets it. And nice use of those flat balls by Cosm to protect himself. You saw him turning away Last, trying to go through that choke point. Good use making area denial the focus. Last gonna T1000 right through those bars, grab that armor. Almost jumped off the double damage, but you see, grabbing the amp and the shock rifle, deadly combination, and pushing them off of the belt. Nice job by Wasty of following it up with a stinger. That's gonna allow him to grab some armor, but not before getting blasted. So Last with the chase down with that flak, and they have doubled up their score here in the second half. Oh, big flak ball straight to the noggin. I feel like the Mr. Bucket emoji is pretty much there almost entirely for flak balls at this point. That's just, we've seen so many of them just donk right on people's faces. Did they have Mr. Bucket in Europe? Did the European folks in this channel have any clue what that's a reference to? Yeah, I mean, I'll clarify. That's a valid question. So the 4v4s, we just play 2 maps. So each team chooses a map, and then you play it. And those are each worth 1 point. Then the 2v2 is best of 3. That's going to be another point. And then we have 2 best of 3 duels that are also each worth a point. So a total of 5 points in any given matchup. So the 4v4 per map is worth more in the sense that each map is worth 1 point, whereas the other game types you have to win obviously 2 maps to get that point. But I'm pretty sure... Ooh. Sorry. Oh, nice shot by Last. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there with that aggressive amp run there by Last. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you know, when you're trying to get 3 different game types into a match, making it best of 3 4v4 would have just added another 20 to 30 minutes on top of it. So, you know, a time consideration there as well. And there is the concession. So Mesa Gaming looking good on this one. I'm not sure. I'm going to presume this was their map pick. They certainly looked very comfortable on it. Looks like Codec's going to be map 2. Of course, Ocrana going back to the old school days. They're going to be very comfortable with Codex. Last I know knows Codex. It's Wasty, again, coming from a background that's a little less team deathmatch oriented. Not sure how much he's played Codex. That said, not the most complicated map. We'll take a look at it once it pops up. They're going to change hubs. That was on London, so I guess we're going to New York. Did they actually say? I'm going to presume they're going to be jumping back into New York. And that would make Codex the map pick for Ocrana then. Not surprising there. Yeah, this is when it would be good to have the cat on stream, fill this downtime. Waiting for hubs to pop up. Definitely the least interesting part of casting these matches. Maybe we'll take a look at pubs, see what's happening in pubs, right? We got some of the North American players. I say they're up, but this is actually, it's in the afternoon now. I'm so used to us casting these matches super early. So it's actually pretty late over for the Ocrana players. Probably what, like, I mean, it's like 10 o'clock probably, right? So 10 o'clock on a Saturday. I know a lot of folks are self-quarantining, and that might be the case, but certainly appreciate folks for foregoing any other Saturday night plans to play video games or indeed watch video games with us. We're actually almost at 50 viewers for an off-the-cuff Challenger League match. Not bad viewership, y'all. Appreciate that. If we can get 2 more people, just call your grandma, tell her to log in. I know she has a Twitch account. Your grandma definitely has an Amazon Prime account, so you should absolutely get access to it, create a new Twitch account, and give free subs to whoever you want to every month. Look, Amazon has enough money, all right? We need to just take some from them. Just think of it like Robin Hooding. You're taking from the rich and giving to the poor. So as long as you don't give it to any of the like 10 Twitch streamers that are millionaires, all the rest of us are broke. Well, if you're here for me, then you're out of luck because I'm not really wearing enough clothes to be turning on the webcam. It's a little bit warm today. And so I'm going for the easy breezy, tropical, you know, skirt kind of look today. Not trying to get banned on Twitch for my progressive fashion thinking. But you can listen to me drink beer and talk about video games if that's what you want. Here we go, up on New York. Speaking of video games, Weekend has them.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. I'm all out of gum.
Yes, we do not condone people dying on stream. Don't forget to hydrate. If you guys want to take a shot of water every time Babbitts dies, that would probably be good for your health. And then you can drink however much you want afterwards because you'll be so thoroughly hydrated, you'll be fine. That's not official advice. I am not a doctor. Medical advice is given for entertainment purposes only. But yes, while I do have a beer in my hand, I have a water bottle in the other, so definitely always hydrate. Especially now that it's getting warm again, y'all. You can absolutely die from getting too much or from drinking too much water. That's actually, as I understand it, and I'm not an expert in this matter, but from what I've been told, that's one of the reasons that like marathons will limit how often you can give people water. Like they have stations every so often, so that runners can't accidentally poison themselves with water. Don't know for sure if that's true, but it would make sense if that's true. So we have had some updates, I think, to Codex. It's possible that Ocrana is having to download this most recent up-to-date version. You see up top there, trying to make a wall run series over to that 50 armor. I believe that 50 armor and that whole ledge right there was added to this version of the map, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was just a wall in the original version of the map. I'm going all the way back to UT99. I think, yeah, because I think the lift over there was just a corner. It was just kind of a dead zone. So kind of like adding to the flow of the map this way. Okay, then replace shots of water with sips. Right, like you can only die so many times in 2v2. Even if you die, let's say 50 times, 50 sips of water I think is reasonable. You're supposed to drink what, like a gallon and a half a day or something? Yeah, I'm not sure where Ocrana is. Like I said, it's possible that they're having to download this most updated version. Codex is still being actively worked on, so shout out to the mapper there. I always lose track of who made what map, so if anyone wants to give a shout out to the mappers in chat, by all means, do so. It's always cool to see lots of extra content being worked on. Moxnix does enjoy porting maps. Or if he doesn't enjoy it, he's a hell of a masochist. Here we see some QA testing from last, just seeing if he can break the map. You know, on stream here. Yeah, actually, Cliffy B originally made this map for, you know, all of the mostly warranted criticisms and whatnot of Cliffy B. He did make some very memorable maps. I believe this and Asbestos, he also both had secret, you know, doors or secret things to shoot to get access that would show his face and have a little funny joke or whatever, right? I'm presuming this version of the map does not have Cliffy B's face in it. Tamer, I think people would revolt if they had to play Zito in a competitive manner. I played some shock rifle duels on it. It's actually a decent shock rifle duels map. Back when Proving Grounds had the shock rifle only duel ladder. But rockets in this game would lock down that map so hard. It's kind of fun 2v2, or it was kind of fun 2v2, at least in UT99. Not sure about with the weapons and movement in this game if it would be better or worse. Hey, you guys remember the time, like 10 years ago, somebody tweeted at Cliffy B that we were casting 2K4. We were doing a 2K4 draft, and he retweeted it, unbeknownst to me, because this was back when Twitch wouldn't actually show me chat. I literally couldn't see chat or how many people were viewing me for like 2 or 3 years. There was no way for me to do it because it was just broken. It wouldn't load in the browser. So I was basically just talking to an empty wall and never had any idea how many people were watching, how active chat was, none of that. So Cliffy B retweets it. somebody makes a joke about how Cliffy B's in my chat talking, and I'm like, haha, I thought it was a joke. And then other people were like, no, it's serious. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, you know. But this was right when Lawbreakers had been announced. It was actually called Blue Streak at the time. Still. And apparently he retweeted it, and like 1,700 people joined the chat immediately. And I had no idea. So here I am, like photoshopping pictures of our little like MLUT draft or whatever it was. And then we did a little exhibition game. And I'm just like casting it on the fly, having fun, whatever. And then I go back and look at it, and my peak, my peak chatters or whatever was like 1,780. Still by far the most people I've ever had in one stream before. I believe that is his Twitter account. He also has... he also has a Twitch name that is something weird. Him and his wife both have Twitch accounts. Last I looked, his wife was following me, but he wasn't, probably because he wants to stay low-key. I imagine if people find his name on Twitch, he'll just get DMs constantly. Okay, looks like both players in the game for Ocrana having to download this version of the map, but again, that is just sort of the other side of the coin when we have these constant map updates. Last just over here pounding himself in the middle of the map. Didn't realize he was that much of an exhibitionist, but in any case, looks like we are good to go here. If they take much longer, I'm gonna run out of beer. All right, I'm gonna run and grab, am I? Yeah, they haven't chatted yet. I'm gonna grab a refill. I will be back in 10 seconds. And just in the nick of time. So here we go. Players are ready. Guess they finally got everything situated. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 bringing us some 2v2 Challenger Division action again. MG versus OCR. We just saw Mesa Gaming MG taking map 1 pretty convincingly. Ocrana here, though. This is their map pick. We'll see what they can do to try to even things back up. Reminder, this will be a best of 3 in the 2v2 portion for that point. Ooh, close range flak. Last, making it work so far this game with that flak. How many? Already 2 kills and 7 shots. In 30 seconds, firing 7 shots with the flak cannon. No small task. So, Last, getting crazy with the cheese whiz as we kick this one off. Still 100 armor as well, so he gets to run around this map, kind of doing whatever he pleases. Big combo around the corner. Oh, he had him lined up, and Kazan was a good boy and jumped right back into the shock paw radius. So a blazing start for MG right now, but they did just potentially give up this shield belt. No, Last circles back around the map to grab it. I think that's why he hit that bind. There was no reason for him to be able to get back to that shield belt, but right now, oh, with a nice headshot off the flak ball bounce. And Mesa Gaming right now, just relentless. So remember, keep in mind, ooh, a nice shot there by Last to answer right back, and amp will be in his hands. Let's just stick with him. He's got all the armor and the amp. And up to a 9 frag lead. Make that 10 frags with the double kill. Looking for the spawners. This is not a tiny map by any means, but you can maneuver around it so quickly. It can feel that way sometimes, especially when you're respawning against someone with an amp sniper rifle on your back. Oh, lined up the shot Last. That was probably the easiest shot he's had all day. Gonna kick himself for missing that one, but follows it up, and there is the rampage. Last right now, hard carrying. 10 frags for Last, 3 for the rest of the game combined right now. Ooh, flak primary coming out. Last, again, has made great use of that flak early on in here. Let's take a quick look. See, 3 kills already, 11 shots, 46% accuracy with the flak. In case you're wondering, that's pretty good, because I believe that calculates on a per shard basis. So it's not just a matter of whether a shot does any damage, it kind of gives you an indicator of how much damage he's doing. That is high efficiency with that weapon. So nice wall dodge up there. Last showing a lot of familiarity with the intricacies of this map. And that kind of thing, like the lift dodge, wall dodge, that kind of movement, stuff that wasn't in the original game, right? So that's something that you have to practice this map in this game specifically to really get used to. Even like the amp location and the wall and the lift jumps up to there. This game, obviously a port from the original Unreal Tournament, but this version, and of course the movement in this game, gonna make it feel a little bit different. And last right now, looking invincible, 20-1 running around. We saw Inceptos, no, we saw Wasty rather in the 4v4. Right at the very end, he got unstoppable right at the very end of the map on one map. Followed up with almost a spree, almost gets the unofficial godlike. Doesn't get a chance to do it. Actually gets taken out by Flat Cannon in that second 4v4. Last now with an opportunity. I think he'll be going dominating soon. 18-0 right now. Scratch that. He should be going unstoppable soon. I must have missed the dominating. We'll see if we can get our burst godlike of the day here. You see the feigned death there by Prism, trying to hide just to do whatever he can to slow down the momentum. Right now, Lass, as you can see, is just unstoppable. We'll see if he can get godlike. He's got an AFK'er. Inceptos on a spree of his own. And all is fair. Lass does not care about your typing in the corner. Ooh, he takes a little bit of damage finally, but just drops another ball right onto his face. So Last with this amp sniper rifle, right? He's going to be insta-giving. Oh, I think Prism with the feigned death in the corner trying to avoid him again. And I think OCR at this point is kind of just having fun. I think they know this one is pretty much over. Not even halfway through. Oh, and there is the concession. Another concede. A couple of kills away from godlike. This time it's Lass's. But OCR gonna go ahead and give them this one. It was all Mesa Gaming on this map. So we'll give you a quick recap while we take a look at the website and the rankings. That's our matches. These are our rankings. So again, this is before today. We did have Mesa Gaming losing map 1. That's Ocrana. It managed to steal map 1, come back in the last couple minutes on deck, win by 1 frag right before overtime hit, earning themselves 1 point there. Mesa Gaming really ran away with it on Temple, and you saw what they did in the 2v2 portion. So Mesa Gaming right now, 2 points on the board. Ocrana with 1. I'm hearing varying reports that they might be playing the duels a different day. Again, the Challenger League a little bit less consistent with the schedule. They kind of have an open scheduling policy between these teams just to get things going. Kind of just encourage them to schedule it whenever they can. I'll let people in chat from these teams confirm or deny that. In the meantime, would be a good opportunity to move over to our matches page again tomorrow morning. Well, morning my time. Be right around, I think, 9 a.m. Eastern. Of course, 1300 UTC. We will have BRD versus Saints and Sinners every game in the Epic Division. Since there's only 6 teams this season, every game in the Epic Division, so important. Every single point matters. We've got our next to last play day tomorrow, and then the last play date is Sunday the 22nd. And after that, we will have all of these matches played and our rankings shaking out. But right now, we still have so many matches left. You can see Saints and Sinners pulling a doubleheader against Absolute and BRD. Or excuse me, Saints and Sinners BRD with a doubleheader against Saints and Sinners and Absolute. Little triangle of teams there. But 3 of the top teams in the division right now still jockeying for positions, vying for that top spot. And then, of course, we're going to finish the day off with Absolute versus Gangsters. So 2 teams playing doubleheaders tomorrow. And then, of course, that next Sunday, we've got Crowd Control versus Gangsters and Saints and Sinners. So a big opportunity for CC to move up those rankings, try to pull in some points. And then we're going to end it with Absolute versus SOW. And that one could have some big implications for the middle to bottom portion of the league, depending on how things end up at that point. So it looks like, it looks like they might have a 4v4 just exhibition practice game going on here in a second. We'll see if we can jump into that one. I mean, I did get a second beer, right? I haven't even opened it. I haven't finished my first. That match was so quick. But that will do it for the actual UTPL action today. So OCR versus Mesa. Just wanted to jump in and bring you guys that one. It was of interest to folks, of course. Very relevant to the rankings with a wide open Challenger League. So we'll take a look at while we're at it. Again, back at these rankings, you got 6 teams in Epic Division, 9 now left in Challenger Division, so still a lot of room for things to move around. And for that matter, anyone who's thinking about maybe forming a team for Season 3, I'll let the admins, announce that when they announce that, if indeed it does happen. But definitely, I mean, there's plenty of teams around to play, enough folks to scrim between North America, South America, and Europe, that if anyone wants to get in on some TDM action, definitely now is the best time, and probably a long time, to pick up a few teammates and get things going. Yeah, JCB, I guess, is it JCB Cloaky? Is that how you pronounce it? But, yeah, Mesa Gaming ran away with that one. Dimco with the Mind Freak. Dimco probably has so many points, he could reverse the entire chat by just using whatever commands Twitch gives you. So it sounds like Mesa might be playing SAS, might be playing some practice games. We'll see if that pops up. We'll go ahead and give you some insight into that, just because, we're up and running. Yeah, so to reiterate, UTPL match done now. I guess I should change the title because we're not going to be bringing any more UTPL today. Of course, tomorrow morning we've got the full epic play day. 3 matches back to back to back. Bear with me here, I'm typing things out in an amusing manner. Alright. Stream title is updated, so that, again, that will conclude the UTPL portion of this cast. Jumping in here Saturday afternoon, just hanging out. And I think we're gonna see, again, perhaps a scrim, perhaps a practice match between SAS and Mesa, which would be interesting to watch. I do see SAS right now playing 2v2 against each other. And Slay and Snatch killing it. I feel like Slay has been just really on a roll the last, I don't know, last few weeks or so. Okay, cool. So we'll wait for that to get set up. We've got a little bit of time to chill. I'm waiting for that SAS versus Mesa, kind of practice game or whatever. We could jump into a pub and mess around if we wanted. I hope you guys appreciate how difficult it is for me to play with my stream setup, though. A giant, awkward, bulky green crosshair. It's much easier to see through the stream, though. So I usually use a little red dot, which is great if all you want to do is, you know, point a pixel at something. But if you're compressing and transmitting video, red tends to bleed or disappear. Not so much hold its shape. It's like water, like Bruce Lee would say. I hope Daddy's Girl is in chat right now in Twitch and just saying hello in chat in game so that they can say hello to themselves through the stream. What map were you even playing here? 171171B3 Revolution. This is a new one for me. Alright, let me jump into this. So you guys can at least watch me flail around instead of just looking at a black screen. I actually forgot that I had closed down the browser. Waiting for more. Yeah, I got you, Tamerlane. I saw you. I see you in chat. I was bouncing back and forth between Discord, waiting for some details on this Mesa versus SAS scrim, while also jumping in a server. You know, multitasking, and of course drinking a beverage. It's a lot of things to do at once, man. Can you do something stupid like slide through that? No, I bet you can slide through the other side, huh? A lot of goo flying around there, bud. What? Where'd he go? Oh. Okay, Shaka's obviously cheating. He's played this map before. Jump right at someone charging rockets. It's a spicy meatball right there. Ooh. Oh, and then I get gooed. What'd I get? Okay, so it looks like they're going to be up and running in London, so we're going to go ahead and jump out since I got gooed anyway. Looks like SAS versus Mesa. Again, just a practice game. Little scrimmy scrim. This will actually, though, be an interesting measuring stick for a team like Mesa that's brand new to this season, kind of up and coming. And they've been doing really well in that second challenger division, but we saw, for instance, map 1 just now against Ocrana. Big lead, couldn't hang on to it, so they're still kind of getting some of that some of that advanced teamwork and things like that oriented.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. I'm all out of gum.
Whoever controls the pop-up there, the splash screen when you join a server, FYI, it gets completely blocked by that you are in warm-up thing. So I guess it only really matters when people join a warm-up mode. But if there's any way to raise that up to the middle of the screen, that'd probably be better. In any case, I digress. SAS versus MG, I'm guessing it's going to be 4v4, yeah. Not sure why they would practice 3v3. Last is going to need a second. You know what? I'm going to take that opportunity then to take a quick break. Just run to the bathroom right quick, grab some more water, and we'll be back with you in just a moment for MG. It's Mesa Gaming versus SAS. Just a friendly little scrim. It'll give us something to do while we're all self-quarantining on Saturday afternoon. Okay, here we go. Alright, just in time, we're gonna throw some pizza in my face. Here is a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Connex 5. We're just having fun at this point. This is just a friendly exhibition game between SAS, one of the top teams in the world, finished second place last UTPL season by just 1 point. And Mesa Gaming MG, they're going to be more of an up-and-coming team. They just formed this season with a bunch of very capable players. They're in the Challenger division, so these two teams not even in the same division. And MG right now looking to really kind of solidify. They've been practicing a bunch, doing really well in the Challenger division so far. We saw them in action earlier. So while this is a totally unofficial game, and either team might be trying different things with their lineups and positioning, so, you know, obviously big asterisk by you're not gonna necessarily just look at who wins this game, I guess is what I'm saying. It's gonna look at it, think of it almost like a preseason game in sports. This is an opportunity for them to try some things, you know, try different players in different positions, maybe play some maps that they haven't been practicing as much, and maybe feel a little less comfortable on. But when you get an opportunity to play, you know, a practice game like this against a really top level team, for MG it can be really, really helpful. Obviously SAS, just trying to stay sharp and maybe again try some new things. Nitro just got added this season, so entirely possible that they just want to get some extra practice in on that. And Mesa Gaming so far, tie game up to this point, obviously super early on, but Mesa Gaming showing they're every bit capable of giving SAS a good match, at the very least in a practice situation. So here's Last running around. That amped sniper rifle is going to be so dangerous with this running around this map. If you stay on this if you stay on this half of the map, you can set yourself up for a lot of shots that are mid to long range. And when you see him getting on top with the rocket launcher and wasted killing Lass and Slay there, so getting his own revenge kill. Got armor split there, Snatch got belt, but got damaged quite a bit. Wasty coming away with that 100 armor vest. And you notice below Wolverine's name down there, the WV, there is 40 seconds, so both amp and health keg. So there is a keg of health on this map, the only TDM map that we're playing this season that has a keg. They do have the same respawn timer, so you're going to have some decisions to make for these teams. All right, let's head over to the amp. So we have shield belt, keg, and amp all spawning at about the same time. It makes it kind of an interesting map in that way because you're not going to be able to hold every power up at the same time. You kind of have to decide what to concede, what to fight over. You might even delay grabbing certain power-ups so that you can maybe head from one to the other and have a cycle going. We'll see if that comes into play. Again, I think that's one of the reasons, one of the more unique aspects of this map, and one of the reasons why they might want to specifically practice a map like this. So Lass again with an amp run with that sniper rifle, not as big of a damage output this time, kind of roaming around that section of the map. I think that's probably a smart move. So he hasn't gotten caught out too much in the bottom of the map. That's one thing that can happen when you get that amp, you get into the middle of the map, you're kind of stuck at the bottom. Everyone can turn around and take shots at you. You can't really return fire or give yourself cover. You want to maintain that high ground. You have that, ooh, nice shots there coming out though. And SAS coming right back into this one, taking the lead. Yeah, we got some 4v4 TDM going on. I'll give you a quick look at the scoreboard. And just to reiterate, this is simply a friendly practice match between these two. We had an official UTPL match before this with MG, and now they're just getting some practice games in, and we figured we'd hang out with them, you know, given that we're all quarantining and whatnot. I feel like it's pretty much like the day after tomorrow at this point. So SAS, one thing to keep an eye on, they've been so good at this over both of our UTPL seasons so far, is once they grab control of a map, they're able to churn out so many kills. So lots of teams can control the map. You can grab a few power-ups and grab some weapons. Nice headshot there by Last to defend himself rather. But being able to translate that control into kills, SAS has shown the ability to take control of a map and churn out 10, 20 kills in a matter of 2 minutes, over and over and over. There you go, seeing the amped snatch diving right in your face. Not a comfortable place to be, but he's down to 2 HP, so he has to be careful. Stinger coming out, and then you can see fighting right back into it, grabbing that amp. Last, though, only with a stinger, so he'll do a little bit of damage from a distance, but he's got to be careful not to run into, yep, that spam. And that's what I was talking about him avoiding before. When you have amp on this map, you don't want to get into the habit of charging into tight corridors or any of those choke points, because people can just erase you so quickly with shot combos, flat balls, you know, rockets, of course. Even link spam like we saw there. Nice combo there to take him out over the vest, and we do have that health keg coming up. And keg is an interesting one because most teams aren't going to be used to timing it. You see Frag M grabbing it without any trouble, so they obviously have a setup there. And that's one thing that any teams that are newer to this map is going to have to practice. Because, like I said, this is the only map we're playing in UTPL that uses health keg. And I don't know of any other prominent maps in the game at all that have the keg in it currently. So it's kind of a different flow. It's another assignment, right? You kind of have to have, sometimes they'll just put one extra, one person who has an extra timing assignment just on that keg, but flowing through, building it into part of your rotations and your routine, that's something that every team is going to have to work in this season. See Fraggen bouncing around the map with this amp. Remember, Mesa Gaming started off strong this map and actually then pretty much played even for a while, and then SAS got really settled in, took control, and it's been a double-digit lead for the last few minutes now. And Fraggen able to get that keg and that amp, such a lethal combination, down to 1 HP, finally goes down. We got some time, so let's take a look at the scoreboard and see what we're seeing. So pretty even amp time between the two. Actually pretty even power-ups other than that 100 armor vest. Look, 10 100 armor vests, and that's what SAS will often do in this map. Is they'll stick a player over by that 100 armor. Let's take a look, Slay's perspective, and this is what you're seeing him do. Just sit back. It's almost like, when you see him on a rampage, oops. There you go. You see him on a rampage there. 11 and 4, very, very efficient game. He's actually got the second most damage on the team as well. But he plays almost like he's playing the pit, which is indeed his position on deck as well. Basically just playing vest the whole time, trying to stay efficient, trying to deny that pickup. He's going to have 100 armor. All right, let's just say he'll have 50 to 100 armor most of a match if he's controlling that room. So he's not going to be someone that enemy players are necessarily going to chase down. His goal is basically to hold that power up, leave it for teammates whenever they can grab it, give his team a safe place to retreat to if need be. Fraggen, meanwhile, grabbing the keg and the amp yet again, an opportunity to put some big points on the board. So again, we see the amp runner, this time with Shock running through mid. He gets away pretty much unscathed, however. Back over to that 50, and Fraggen is just getting stronger and stronger as this map goes on. Ooh, Fraggen looking for that keg. They're a little bit early. I think he actually got bounced down there, so now he's just going to be hanging out, and this is some dead time. You got to be aware of this, but fortunately for him, it doesn't look like Mesa Gaming has timing of that keg to really challenge it. And given that we've seen Fraggen grabbing those kegs, grabbing the damage amps off of those keg runs, it's been a really good combination that's helped SAS extend this lead. Mesa Gaming is going to need to be able to challenge one or both of those power-ups. So amp spawns in 5, speaking of which. We'll go take a look at it in the corner. Wasty is up there. I don't know if he has timing on it. He's right by it. He checked on it. He took a peek, but he didn't see it spawned. He might check it again. There it is. And now Waste is going to have control. So SAS that time a little bit out of position to try to challenge that amp. And that could be a turning point. There's still a third of this map left to go. And Wasty right now looking for a sniper rifle. His teammates drop one for him. And this is the interesting thing. When you grab amp on this map, you don't necessarily want to go nuts diving at the other team. You want to be patient and just look for your shots. I like that he's keeping the high ground. There's that close range sniper. And his teammates right now just calling out enemy players. He knows Slay is mostly going to be hanging around that vest. He actually guessed wrong. He looked right. Slay was left. But he had a shot on him and he had what he wanted. So a pretty safe use of that amp right there. Nothing huge coming out of it, but some good damage on the board. Takes out Slay. And that didn't eat a ton out of the lead of SAS, but that was a pretty consistent amp run there. If you can put a few of those together in a game, that'll do you a lot of good. Of course, Frag him on the other side, grabbing Keg yet again. He has just been eating those up. That won't show up on the scoreboard yet, because again, this is the first map we've been playing that has it. Ooh, and Snatch with that flak coming from behind, and you look at the extra health and armor on the SAS players' stacks down there. Never running around with just 100 health. So, all right, we've got shield belt is up. Let's go over to that. SAS all over it, and that's going to put them in great position to grab this amp as well. Now, they weren't around the amp when it was taken last time, but I figure they have an idea if it's up. Snatch looks like he might be calling for Wolverine, who has 150 armor, to come pick it up. Wasty's jumping in his face. If Wasty knows this amp's up, he might be able to steal it and get away, but oh, Snatch from behind with that flak. And there we go, Wolverine now grabbing that amp. They did take about half his health and armor stack down, though, before he grabbed it. Oh, the nice ambush there by Wolverine. Knew exactly where Kuzki was, and that's, you know, credit to his teams, giving him that communication. Teammates, rather, not his teams. Nice jump around the corner with the cutoff, and a pretty significant lead here for SAS. They really settled in towards the middle of this one and extended this lead. And MG, again, as a team that just formed for this season, and has only played a few matches together. That's, ooh, nice goose shot there by Wasty to save himself. But that's kind of the next level of team deathmatches, is when things aren't going right. How do you adjust your strategy to get back into it? It's one of the hardest things to learn, I think, for competitive, especially in team deathmatch, because the strategies are so open-ended. You can't just really follow a flowchart. Give me a quick look at the scoreboard to see how things are shaking out. Frag him with a really efficient game. Slay, of course, with an efficient game. And those are the two players. I mean, Fragam has had Keg in his hands most of the game. Slay has had 100 armor in his hands most of the game. So it kind of makes sense that they've been able to churn out frags very consistently. Fragam's also gone on quite a few amp runs for the last couple here going to Wolverine, but... And that's a smart move. You want to stack your power-ups whenever possible. Oh, Kuzki with the amp rockets on top, so Kuzki pulls out a killing spree. So MG looks like they're gonna go down in this one, but not a bad opportunity to get some practice in against certainly arguably the best team that we have right now. I mean, UTPL, obviously the Epic Division is still underway, but SAS 1 point away from winning Season 1. Got to be the favorites to win Season 2 as it is right now. And of course, SAS for their part. Again, I don't know what new strategies they might be trying here. They might just be using this as, oh, nice flak ball to the face for Kuzki. Snatch just drops it in on his grill. But yeah, as I was saying, a great opportunity for both of these teams to try out some things. Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. You can look at the ping differential. I mean, SAS is a European team. Mesa Gaming is an entire North American team. So there's not a great way to even out pings there. They're playing on London right now. I don't know if they're going to go to New York next just for the sake of practicing different pings. But obviously SAS running away with this one a decent amount in the second half. MG stayed in there. You can see pretty decent damage output. Shield belts were split. Damage time, a bit of an advantage. Probably about basically a full amp run's worth of advantage for SAS. 20-7 with those vests. And that's when we talk about someone like Slay holding that 100 armor, that vest area. It's not just so that he can stack up on it over and over and over. It's so that he can hold that area and pass them to his teammates. They can retreat back there. We saw times where MG would grab the amp, and the amp runner would chase someone, and they would fall back into that 100 armor area, and SAS would just be waiting there with 3 people ready to blast them. And so there's a lot of tactical advantages to that. It's not just a matter of stacking one player with that armor over and over and over. Well, it looks like we're downloading Sid Castle. I'm not sure if we're playing this or if they're going to change hubs, but we'll stick around with them. Again, this is simply, you know, some out-of-season practice between these two teams. These two teams aren't even the same division. So kind of an interesting matchup here, kind of an interesting exhibition, if you will. And if they're playing Sid Castle, I actually haven't seen Sid Castle played yet. We haven't had it played yet in UTPL that I've streamed. Not a new map necessarily. It's new to this game. It's been in the beta forever, in the pre-alpha forever. But it kind of got a little bit of a retooling for this season in UTPL and got added. Very curious to see how it plays out. So it is actually interesting. So we're basically seeing that like 2 of the maps that are brand new for UTPL Season 2 are what these teams are wanting to play. Totally makes sense that it would be the maps that these two teams are least familiar on. So that's cool. It also gives us an opportunity to roll through them and see how they look. Nitro we've actually seen. Nitro was played in, actually I think one of the very first, I think all the matches, or all the match days that we've done for UTPL, Nitro has been played. A very popular map this season. Sid Castle though here, again, brand new to UTPL. New to me from a competitive standpoint. I've only pubbed it, so it'll be very interesting. I'm actually kind of glad now. This is basically going to be practice for me, as well as the players. Yeah, I mean, so from the talk earlier, I'm going to presume that, you know, some of the folks joining us might be of primarily more of a Quake background, just as a guess, but if we're going to make a comparison, UT is a little more agile, where Quake has that straight line, fast, you know, direct movement. UT is going to be a little more side to side, a lot more, like I say, agile, kind of like chasing a squirrel around versus chasing a cheetah. All right, here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Connex 5 bringing you this Saturday afternoon chilling session here. Just a practice game between MG and SAS. And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm still gonna be getting used to this map as we're playing this. Yeah, Sid Castle's a very interesting layout. It's hard to even, I mean, you can see the overhead map in the top right. There's a lot of verticality to it. And you can find yourself out of position a lot from what I recall. Ooh, just kills coming all over the place, back and forth. Let's head over to the shield belt area. We'll kind of familiarize ourselves with this. It kind of reminds me of the shield belt bunker in Cannon, if anyone's familiar with that. Kind of this round area, bunch of different windows. You can come around the side here. I believe there's jump boots you can take to get right up there. Otherwise, you're going to be in danger of a lot of rockets, combos, flak balls coming in. A very dangerous area to try to hold. You see them getting into position way ahead of time. Of course, you can take that lift to get up there. And it looks like it did get grabbed. So let's head over to Amp then. So this is what the Amp's going to look like. It's more wide open, kind of the exact opposite. So you have that well area, kind of old school Unreal throwback. Amp sitting there on top of a box. Again, jump boot's going to be very useful. Or of course, all this vertical area going to be available for you to hold and to dive down on top of it from. But enough talk. Let's go on board with the Amp runner. You saw Wolverine grabbing it. Only got an Enforcer. His teammate's going to drop him a Stinger. Oh, eats a rocket though, and he goes down. Amp gets picked up and dropped again. This time Snatch ultimately gets away with it. Nice combo up top to Kusky. Oh, you saw with the lift jump trying to get that rocket in his face, but nice defense there with the shock primer to knock Snatch right back down to the ground. Yeah, Playful, to answer your question, they got the TDM games played, but 1v1s will have to wait for another time, so that's why they decided to just jump into a practice game versus SAS. Yeah, so the long and the short of it is the Unreal Tournament team at Epic, nice flak ball there by Snatch. The Unreal Tournament team actually made Fortnite Battle Royale in like 2 weeks as a side project, and then of course it exploded into basically the biggest video game in the world, and they started just printing money. So ever since then, they were like, well, I guess we'll just keep getting rich rather than working on UT, which, you know, it is what it is. That said, We do have a lot of access from a community side to work on things. There's some things we can't touch. We obviously can't mess too much with the UI, or you know, we can't break compatibility with the launcher. We can't touch netcode, some of the fundamental things. But there've been a lot of folks working on things like maps. A lot of the matches you see will be using things like weapon mutators and movement modifications and things like that. A lot of the maps are custom. A lot of the game types that you see played even have modifications. So official development is paused, but there's a lot of community development going on. In fact, I think pretty much every map we've seen today, other than Deck, was made by the community. So always good to see. I think Sid Castle might have been an epic test map. Like, I think they had a shell for it in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Then we've had some mappers working on, you know, kind of getting it finished off, kind of getting it rounded out. You can see it's still sort of in a quasi-shell phase, kind of work in progress phase, but you can see we've got textures and a little bit better lighting going on. And, you know, it's the thing they're working on. Like I said, a layout new for Season 2 of UTPL. So right now, MG actually holding their own up to a 3-frag lead. Nice jump boots to rockets there by Inceptos. We're going to go on board with Kuski. He's got 150 armor and see what he can do. We have 20 seconds till this amp spawns. Curious if he goes on the hunt or if he drops down from up top. So amp in 7. Kuski's still looking at 150 HP and 63 armor. He would be a great... Oh, and there's a flak ball to erase him. I was like, he would have been a great candidate to back up and grab this amp. Instead, we've got Septos and Wolverine fighting over it down low. Snatch comes over. Slash with Lass, I should say, with a nice jump to grab it. Wolverine drops a flak ball in his face, though, and Snatch now with the amp in his hand. So a quick sequence there. This is, I believe, London Hub, I believe. It's definitely not New York, and I don't see why MG would be practicing on any other hub than London if they're going to play in Europe. It's not the UK Pugs hub, though. So meanwhile, as we were talking, SAS managed to come back and take the lead. These teams have been back and forth. We'll give you a quick look at the scoreboard here, just to see what we can see. So amp time entirely in SAS's favor. Shield belts, though, going mostly to Mesa. And 100 armor vests, dead even. That really, I think, has been a game changer for them, is being able to contest those 100 armors. Of course, it's in a completely different style of, I don't know, room in this map. Whereas you can definitely isolate it and hold it on a map like Nitro. We saw Slay basically just single-handedly holding it down. A little more exposed on this map. Ooh, and Slay there grabbing that belt while Snatch has some of his other armor left. And you can see that armor stack so big between one team and the other. Oh, and a rocket to the back. It's a nice rocket to not only turn Snatch away, but... Ooh, eat into his armor. Then the takedown from above. Very aggressive move. We've seen Inceptos making great use of the rockets and the jump boots. Just flying around the map, playing almost a limb style there. Last couple seconds of that amp just dropping back and forth between these teams. We'll head over to this vest and see who's in a position rather to grab it. So this is a scary one to grab, because if people see you grabbing it, you basically got to turn your back, right, in order to grab it. So you're very, very vulnerable. But it is kind of off in its own, off in a corner. We do have fighting over that belt. Remember, this is in its own little bunker. Close range. Link by Lass going to get that kill. Oh, and the nice headshot by Lass. That'll give him a killing spree. So MG, don't look now, but we're halfway through this one. Jumped right back into the lead. The nice fall away sniper there. Lass looking very sharp right now with that sniper rifle. Ooh, rocket to the face, but just barely survives. He's going to be waiting on that belt, but he's going to be waiting a long time. There's actually a lift jump you can do from right where he just passed. He might be doing it. No, he's going to take the low route. You can take a lift, jump up and grab a whole bunch of vials on the way up top to that power-up, and that can be extremely useful. Oh, nice combo there, followed up with the primary. We'll stick with last now since he seems to be on a bit of a roll. Meeting a spawner, nice use of that lift to escape though. And Amp and Belt are both up. Surprising to see neither team grabbing it. Kusky grabs the Belt. We'll see if he can make his way over to Amp. Amp is tricky in this map. It's so open, and it's on top of that crate, remember. It's on the top of that big box by the well, kind of low down and mid. Sometimes it does get delayed because you want to be in good position to grab it. You don't just want to grab it and die instantly. We saw ways to grab it. Let's go on board with him. Dual Enforcers coming out. Those are going to be 44 damage a shot, doubled up with your second one. So that's going to be a very, very dangerous weapon, but teammate drops him a stinger. He's going to be around the corner. Takes down Snatch from behind and pretty low HP. Kind of deciding where to go here. You're in a tricky spot. This is a really easy map to turn around a corner and get blasted. So it's underneath 100 armor, pushing him away. The vest will actually spawn in about 10 seconds, so it's a little bit early there. He's trying to fight off Wolverine. It's going to be a tough task. And there we go. They just chase him down. You can see that vest spawning any second now. Got people ready for that on SAS's side. However, that Belt did spawn on the other side. It looks like Last came away with that again. So now a 6-2 lead for the Belts. Really playing into Mesa Gaming, able to take a 10 frag advantage. And right as we switch to Last, he has the most boring sequence that he's had all game. Like I was saying, that's that lift jump you can take right above Shock. You have Shock there, you've got those vials, and then that gives you access to the power-up up above. I believe that's Shield Belt. So there's a nice little sequence of movement you can do there to really stack up, grab a weapon, grab some health, and then grab that power-up. Across the map, though, Slay got a clean grab of a amp, and this could be a good opportunity now for SAS. They're only down 6. Try to churn out some kills to come right back into this one. Down by 4 now. He's got that amp sniper rifle just looking for a target. Link gun going to be very lethal on this map. Not unlike, say, say Temple. This map has maybe a little bit more open areas, but you can also definitely turn that corner and get into people's face with Link. And very difficult to get away, because running this map backwards is a very complicated affair. So if people get their movement extremely dialed in, it'll be very difficult to track them down, but it's such a complex map. Both gives you some cool things to do and requires a lot of practice to do it backwards. You see the peak shots here. Just waiting for him to walk into his crosshair while he grabs that vest. Instead, going to get the cutoff, and Inceptos does have rockets, has to be careful. Slay survives, but takes a ton of damage. But that said, SAS back on top. Just under the 4-minute mark. So we got Belt spawning in 10 seconds. Let's head over to there. MG is all over this. They have been dominating that Belt, and this is that shock rifle and that jump we looked at. That kind of back corner of this map. Oh, nice combo by Wolverine. Free damage output as everyone is stacked in that little bunker. All right, now we're across the map. Here's that amp down low. Frag him right on top of it, ready to grab. Only 13 HP, but he does have jump boots to escape. Wolverine now on a rampage, so a highly efficient game from him so far. Let's see what he's got going on. Okay, well, only 17 and 14 overall, so really turning it on in the second half. So I only half-lied you guys there. So having a very equally efficient game at this point. So SAS now pulling out to a bit of a lead. Despite not really challenging the shield belt all that effectively. I believe it's up right now, right above them, and yeah, Last gonna grab it again. He's been all over these. 3 belts for Last, 6 for Kusky. And it looks like Wasey's been mostly controlling that vest area. This is a fairly large map as far as the time it takes to traverse. So you are gonna have to split off into positions that way. Incepto's maybe a little bit tilted. If he's complaining about 11 damage, I'm gonna guess that was either a shot combo or a rocket that he expected. Oh, more damage from, and Slay with the snot rocket all over Lass's face. So SAS pulling away on this one with just about 2 minutes to go. 17 frags. Gonna be very difficult to string together on a map of this size. Amp is up, however, and you do see Kuzki with a grab. Only a link gun, but like I said, this is not a bad map to chase people down with Amp link gun if you can just locate them. That is the trick. He'll be relying on his teammates to call them out. Oh, he turns the corner and sees the whole team in front of him. He's got to find a target. Jump boots escaped. There's one kill with that Link. He's got a shock rifle now. Gonna stick with Link if he can cut them off. They do get the kill on the other side. There's Natch in front of him. He should be able to get the kill there, and there's another kill. And we're down to a 9 frag lead with a minute and a half to go. Nice. Fragum getting the kill on Kuzki, but also killed himself, though. But back up to a 10 frag lead. This momentum has just kind of been back and forth. But MG gonna be close to running out of time here. They need 9 more frags in a minute. They gotta find players and win fights. Not much else to it at this point. It's gonna be fighting 1v1 all over the map. Kuzki trying to get away, doesn't want to give up any kills. Oh, and he eats a rocket from Lass. And that might do it. Last shield belt finally goes to Wolverine. Is that his first belt of the game? It is. So Wolverine finally grabbing his first shield belt. You see Lass and Kuzki all over those belts. Actually a pretty solid job controlling the power-ups by MG, but you can see that amp time for SAS. Not going to say that was the only difference maker here. We have pretty significant damage differential between them, but definitely played a role. That said, a pretty competitive scrim we got going on here. I'm not sure how many maps they want to play. I can probably hang around and bring you one more or so. But also really cool to get some time to check out not only two teams that never play each other, at least not this season, but also some new maps. Nitro, of course, new for this season, and Sid Castle. First time we've seen this one on my stream. And you do see there MG asking if they can go to a North American hub. So there are the negotiations happening, trying to see if they can go to a North American hub for one. Totally understand that from Mesa's perspective. They're going to be, basically planning on playing their matches split between Europe and North American hubs anyway in their matches. So totally get why they'd want to see if they can get them to move. That way we can get some practice on both. Okay, well, I can confirm that the cat is still alive. He is splayed out, napping on the concrete slab outside in the back. And it looks like still negotiating whether or not they want to play on this hub or a different map or whatever. Now, personally, I'm rooting for Defiance. I think we've seen Defiance one time. If they're looking for another map to practice, that would be my... Well, there you go. Wolverine shutting down Defiance. I'm only saying that because I haven't had a chance to really see it that much. So like Sid Castle, for instance, really glad that I got a chance to bring that to you just in this casual, you know, Saturday chillin' environment, so that it is okay for me to not know where things are. I do remember, though, there's actually a lot of really fun movement in Sid Castle. Whoa. I did not... When did we add the disco room? Whoa, wait, what's the... Wait. What is this disco rave room in Tempest? Okay, it looks like they're gonna rehost Spacer. Oh, hold on. Where is this? I gotta... Oh, I can't free cam. Maybe it'll start with bots. All right, if it starts with bots, there we go. We're gonna go check out this secret disco room. Where is this room? Where was that? It ended... It dropped on top of Link, was it? It looked like it dropped on top of the Link spawn area over here. Yeah, what is this? The secret raver room. Huh. Interesting. I mean, I guess that connects the boot, you know, sniper area down to the spawn room. It's interesting though because it's one way, so it doesn't let you get back across the map from spawn any quicker. I guess it would let you give you an alternate route from sniper back around up towards belt. Kind of an interesting change of the flow there. Anyway, they're gonna rehost, so I'm gonna jump out and we'll see. I think they're gonna be playing on Spacer next. Oh, interesting. I must... Well, that's fun. Do I have some kind of... I don't know what I hit. I must have changed... I must have accidentally... See, this is why we do this on Saturdays, y'all. This is why this is casual fun times. Because apparently I found a hotkey that Streamlabs has set for me to change scenes. Now I don't know what it was. But there we go. We'll just keep an eye on that. We'll try to keep that in mind tomorrow when we're doing actual pro gaming. Anyway, we are here on Spacer doing real games. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's the G buttons. The stupid G buttons on my Logitech keyboard are hotkey to change scene. And when I put my headset down, it hit that stupid G button at the top. Well, you learn something new every day. I thought they were going to be playing on here in Spacer. Maybe they're talking about setting up future practices. But yeah, I mean, it is cool to see a couple teams practicing like this, get an idea of what it looks like behind the scenes. I mean, you know, you want to know how TDM teams get started. This team, MG, Mesa Gaming, just formed for this season, right? So, you know, teams don't have to be together for 20 years to be competitive. And here you go. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 bringing you, ooh, possibly the last map between these two. Just some friendly Saturday afternoon scrimming shenaniganery. So SAS off to a fast start here, up 3-0. Mesa Gaming looking to test themselves. Probably aiming, I would say their goal for this season is probably to end up in the Epic Division by the end of the season. So looking to really up their game by playing against one of the best, probably at this point the favorite to win the Epic Division this season. So some really invaluable practice. And it's nice to practice against high-level teams as well, because it kind of stops you from getting into bad habits. Any of you that have played a game type in pubs, whether it's capture the flag or whatever it is, and you go back to playing competitively, you notice you kind of get into bad habits. You're like, oh yeah, the stupid, cheesy, goofy things that worked all the time against random pubbers. Oh, that doesn't work at all against good players. And so you kind of build some bad habits sometimes. So playing against a good team like this, if you do something and it works, you know it's legit. It's kind of, it kind of helps qualify itself. Oh, Snatch just gooed himself in the face. I'm not sure what his plan was there, but usually you get paid good money to goo yourself in the face. We do have an amp run here by Wolverine, running around with a sniper rifle. It's a tricky map though because of how vertical it is. Sniper rifle is obviously useful when you can get into these open rooms, but there's a little bit of traversal involved, running through some of these hallways to get there. So early on, you can see SAS really taking control of this one, and this is a learning opportunity for Mesa. So this is that situation I talked about where, you know, front running is easier, I think, than coming back. Being able to analyze a game on the fly before it slips out of reach, being down 15 to 20, and saying, okay, we still have time. Let's regroup. What is our strategy here? And that's one of the hardest things to learn in team deathmatch, like I was alluding to before. And so these are those opportunities when, if you're a team like MG and you're kind of still getting your feet under you, you can try some things, right? You can say, okay, in the next 5 minutes, let's try this strategy. Okay, that worked sort of. The next 5 minutes, let's try this. That didn't really work at all. Scratch that one. And when you have a really valid, it's almost like a really valid test scenario when you're playing against a team as good as SAS. Like I was saying, you know if something works, that it's pretty much legit. Wolverine on a rampage. Slay here with 170 HP, taking 2 shots in a row though, so it gets Inceptos, but not before taking 2 snipers, down to 40 HP with that double damage amp. And last, oh, can't finish him off. Clutch sniper shot there, and his teammates there to back him up. Just running as a pack right now is SAS. Nice boot jump up there. Basically, it was a boot jump. It was a dodge, boot jump, wall dodge, I believe. Get on top of that. I think he had a different movement in mind, but it looked cool. So, you know, bonus points. Wolverine with another shield belt, or at least another 150 armor. I don't know if he still has that shield belt from before. So far, 4-0 belts and 5-2 vests for SAS, all over the place. In fact, not a single second of amp time yet for MG. Wolverine now dominating, you know. We almost saw a godlike a couple times for Mesa. Oh, there it ends, okay. Amp is up, and that goes to Inceptos. Yeah, we saw Mesa Gaming with a couple of people going unstoppable in the earlier matches. Thought we might see it again done right back to them by SAS. Snatch here with a double amped enforcer. That's going to be, again, 44 damage a shot. It is no small task to fight against that. And you can see him just, especially in a map like this, if he plays his cards right, if you're stuck with dual enforcers in this map, you can hang out around these side corridors. You can catch people in those short to medium range battles. And dual enforcers are spooky at that range, because they're not very accurate, but if you're close enough, that cone of fire doesn't really matter, and you can just melt people so fast. You see him Nothing but Enforcers and Stinger. Hasn't taken a single point of damage since grabbing that shield belt with what, 4 HP I think he had? You see him now just running around. So this is actually this is a thing I was talking about before. So Snatch there, he wasn't running around with dual Enforcers because he like really wanted to win this map. I think he was, you know, playing around a little bit and maybe a little bit of practice there because, you know, you're up 50. He probably could have fallen back to a teammate, had someone drop a weapon for him. But you know, you don't always get a chance to run around in a TDM game with dual Enforcers. It's not a bad thing to practice because occasionally you will get stuck with them. We saw him earlier in this game, had amp and dual Enforcers and had to make it work. So it's not a bad idea to use practice games like this as an opportunity to kind of work on some of those edge cases I should say. Like, you know, running around with a lead and a shock rifle, pretty comfortable situation. That's something that he's accustomed to. But sometimes you know, these good scrims are an opportunity to try some weird stuff, or you know, try some of those weird situations you find yourself in rarely. Don't really get to practice. So I'll give you a quick look at the scoreboard. Obviously, this is going to be one-sided. Wolverine 22-1. So we saw his spree ended, but you can see has not died again since. So I guess we'll go on board. Actually, no, let's check out this amp. Amp wide open here. Room that's so important to hold. That sniper rifle over to that amp. Slay gonna grab it, get a double kill. Looks like here is the concession. So SAS all over MG that time. You can see a little bit of tilting, and Septos not very happy with that map. But it is a map that they're gonna have to play, and if they play against SAS, if they do hypothetically end up next season in the same division, you know, it's something they're gonna have to be ready for. So good games coming out. A good practice for both of these teams. Again, just some Saturday afternoon scrim in there. And I think we're pretty much gonna call it there. Give me a second to see if there's anything else happening. But of course, don't forget to join us tomorrow morning. In fact, we are, well, I guess we're a little more than, we're probably more like 12 or 14 hours away or so, maybe 16 hours. I don't know. Math is hard. But 9 a.m. Eastern time is my calculation, 1300 UTC. If you want to convert that yourself to double check it, by all means do it. But that'll be the UTPL Epic Division tomorrow. We'll be casting all of that. We got back-to-back-to-back games. Again, utproleague.com. That'll be the website with all of your information. And remember, I will be on Raise Your Edge Gaming. So again, if you do want to watch tomorrow and you're not familiar, it's twitch.tv/Raise Your Edge Gaming. RYE sponsoring the whole UTPL season. So shout out to them, of course, for that. But today we were just hanging out, bringing you some of these Challenger divisions and having some fun. So, you know, as always, appreciate everyone for hanging out. Appreciate the folks. I did see there's a few of you, few new additions here as far as followers goes. So Flick, Do, Barsum23, that's a new name. Thanks for the follow, man. And of course, the folks that threw me those subs, whether it's Twitch Prime, whether it's your own, all good, all worth the same. Again, if you do have that Amazon Prime account, hook it up to your Twitch, get that free money, throw it out to somebody. It doesn't have to be me. That's basically just like $5 free every month to take from Amazon and give to some poor kids sitting in their basement talking about video games all day. So thanks for everyone for showing up and hanging out. Appreciate all the players playing their games, letting me know, and of course we will see you guys tomorrow morning.